Hello, hello, hello. I had to step away for a second. How you doing today? It is Monday! Or Tuesday, depending where you are in the world. How are we? What's been happening? What did you get up to? What did you do this weekend? Did you get into any trouble? Are you ready to get back on track? Are you? Are you? Are you ready to get back on track? Or are you on track already? Here we go. Oh, wrong one. So, welcome to the live stream. I go live on Mondays, on Wednesdays, on Fridays. Monday is Monday Motivation. Wednesday is live hypnosis. Friday is more of a chill out, but still good. And that's what we do. We put it out onto the app. You get bonus episodes on the app. So you get a brand new sleep version every single week. So hopefully you're enjoying those if you're a member and you're supporting the show. And you're supporting yourself because you're getting all the stuffs in... Hey, what's all this about? Okay, I'm not online in one place. That's okay. As long as YouTube's up, that's what we're after. So let's see who we've got. First of all, thank you, Cheryl, for upgrading your membership on YouTube. That's so kind of you. You get one of these. No, yeah, these. Uh-oh. For some reason, my screen didn't change there. But thank you, Cheryl. That's very, very kind of you. What happened? Does it work? Let's check this out. It was meant to go to this screen, but it didn't. Bugs in the system. Hey Kevin, thank you for saying, I can't bring it up on screen because it was before the show. Well, pretty much got it here. There we go. For saying hitting the thumbs up, appreciate that. Just helps. Kind of helps in the algorithms. Oh my goodness. Stay safe. I've been around tornadoes before when I was living in Austin, Texas. So stay safe. I kind of weirdly liked it. My ex I was with was like petrified, but I was like wandering around, checking things out, looking out windows, which you probably shouldn't be doing. But please stay safe. Jen is here as well. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Ned is here. Welcome back as well. Mina is here. Welcome back. Eric is back all the way over there on Facebook. Great to have you. Janine is here. Hi, Jay from Jay. I love it. Great to have you here. I shall call you Jay. It was weird, like a while ago, years ago, I used to just put my name as like JC really quickly, just because it's like my app and things like that, and just put quick post, and then people could call me JC. But I was never called JC until I started like at school or anything like that, as ever since I've been doing this. So no one really calls me Jay either. It's either Joe or Joseph. Or my nickname. Do you know my nickname? Does everyone know my nickname? It's a family of nicknames. All my family's been called the same nickname. If you're in England, you'll probably guess it. Whew. But great to have you all here. Today is going to be episode 852. And it's all about overcoming the fear of failure. And on Wednesday, we'll be doing a hypnosis session on that. You're funny. You know it, that's why. My mother wasn't called Brian. Or my grandmother. Or my granddad. Or my brothers. Or my dad. And those before. 3 J's. John, Jane, and our son Jack. I love it. Jay is strong. I'll take that, having a J in my name. But no, my nickname was never Bran. But you know the answer because you said Bran. And it's not Nigel. So episode 852. We've also got, I don't know what it is now, but when I was looking, we're over 100 people are listening to my hypnosis sessions just on the app, not on the podcast or the free section. No, not Hypno Guy. And my mother wasn't called the Hypno Guy. And my grandmother wasn't called the Hypno Guy. It was something else. Hey, Angela, great to have you here. Welcome. Look at all those people in England. Oh, look at all those people. Yeah, we hit like 104, I think. Oh, that's where my dad lives. Daddy, you're listening to my work. Amsterdam. As some of you know, I passed out in Amsterdam. What countries have you guys been to? I've been to this one. This one. These ones. Well, it's technically this one. Where is it? This one. This one. This one. And a few others. Where is it? Where is it? This one. All of those. This one, and this one, this one, this one. But that's it, I think. Unless my memory is whoa. Oh, look at that. Is that Venezuela? Wow. Anyway. Beep. This wire. Do you want to hear a funny story? Not that story. And I don't mean like story if you believe in all those things. I'm not saying that, just story. But when I was really shy as a kid, but I went to a Catholic school, And I've never been baptized. My brothers did. My parents forgot about me. They claimed to say they wanted me to choose, but they forgot. But so we did the play, you know, like the plays and things like that, Christmas and things, and despite being super shy, they actually chose me to play Jesus. And they put a crown of thorns on my head and put me on a physical cross. Kind of weird thinking about it. I wish I remember people recorded it. I'd love to be able to get the footage of young 10-year-old me. Oh, wow. One day I'll go over there. I don't know who Andy Summers is. Who's Andy Summers? Oh dear. I've never been to any countries in Africa. My brother went to South Africa and did the whole crazy great white shark cage dives. Because his wife, my sister-in-law, has family in South Africa. So they did like, like Tabletop Mountain, Johannesburg, and all those. But I guess the closest would be the Canary Islands. I know it's technically Spain, but it's the west coast of Africa. Thank you, Cheryl, saying thank you just at the beginning for upgrading to the extra support on the YouTube. Oh, I see. Oh, I know the police and Sting and things like that. No, it was actually very morbid. Well, not morbid, but it was like... It was kind of like this music throughout. And it was silent, which kind of added a bit to the atmosphere. It was this kind of music. And it was totally silent. And I had to walk around the whole hall in like kind of slow motion, like going on the journey. It was kind of, I'm sure, I mean, it's all good, but it's kind of weird. The Passion. There we go. At school we did the Passion of Christ. So it's very much this kind of feel of the music. Very slow, but I don't know how I did it. I mean, it was good that there's no words because I was super unconfident back then. Like, that's when I was blushing and anxious and things, so... Anyway, we'll get to that music later. That's awesome. I actually have Sebastian tomorrow. Yay! Sebastian's coming over to stay for till like Friday, Saturday. So hopefully, so that was when I was in Austin. That's when Facebook Live just came out for mobiles, you know, via the app. So pretty much every evening, Monday to Friday, I'd go live on Facebook, wandering around where I was living in Austin. And I don't remember that one, but he's a funny one, that little Sebastian. I have a fascination with great white sharks, so I would have said yes when I was younger. Now I'm like, why? Like, there's a chance, and I've seen videos of the sharks going on top and into the cage. And I've seen the movies 52 feet under or whatever it is. And Jaws. Just think how many phobias Jaws created. That movie must be, other than arachnophobia, must be the number, or either or, the number one movie to create a phobia. Or maybe It the Clown for clowns. It's crazy though, right? How movies can do that. Yeah. I would go into the Shark Tank if I'm on land. And I'll just watch them out over there. Yeah, I used to do a load of those. Facebook. Yeah, I'll take the love, but I mean, you said the live. Yeah, I'd go jogging. I could try again. Exactly. I don't know which movie that would be. Yeah, I used to have like books all about great white sharks. Exactly. I never actually watched that one. I know of it. But it was that movie was never as big though, right? If you think of like Jaws or Arachnophobia or It. I think those three. I'd say Jaws are number one. But I've never seen it. Is it comical? Isn't it Samuel Jackson in that one? Yeah, see. So, I went to the cinema in Austin when I was there. They did a you know, like a movie of it, and that was really cool, seeing it in the movie theater, because I never saw it as a kid in the movie theater, so that was really cool. But have you ever seen the picture online of, it looks like it could be in Austin, but they're on like this like riverbank kind of area, and they're all in these rubber dinghies, so their feet are there and their arms are around it, and on the big theater screen they're playing the movie Jaws. Now that would be a little bit too real, although it's on the river and things like that and there's nothing there, but being in the water watching would be pretty crazy. Is that the Australian one? Or am I thinking of something else? I don't know. Or are you on about Austin? It could have been Barton Creek, because I think you're on about Austin. I forget the name. It's been a while since I've been there. Anyway, that was my top rundown of movies which have created phobias in people, which keeps people like me in the job. So thank you, Mr. Spielberg. Oh, The Shallows, yeah. That was a cool one. I actually really like shark movies. I don't even know who Blake... I know of Blake Lively, but I wouldn't be able to put a picture. No, I don't think so. Not as much. I don't think many people have like real phobias of space in comparison to going into the water. So that's not going to hit my top 3 in the movie review on Monday of the top 3 movies to have created phobias in people. Well, the Med one, or was that you? Is that all about you, Med? The first one was a little bit weird. There you go, see, the Meg. Yes, we do. Do we? Do we? I can't tell you. I'm not allowed to disclose such information. I'm forbidden That's true. Okay, we've got a competitor. Is it Cujo? Did it... Did it create as many... Will it hit the number in the 3? So we got It, Arachnophobia, and Jaws. I don't know. I think it go to number 4. So I'm not too sure. Yeah. For Halloween once, what I wanted to do in the community I was in, I wanted to tie a balloon to the thingamajigs, the whatever you call it, the little water duct kind of thing. That's what I wanted to do. I've never seen anyone do that before, so I thought it'd be kind of cool. But I didn't. Oh, really? Or what about then the birds? I don't think that would have... Was it the birds? Was it called the birds? The birds? Maybe that created phobias in people about birds. I don't think that hit gets number 4. And enjoy your food. I haven't eaten all day either. But yeah. Before my time, in terms of like seeing it, with Alfred Hitchcock, and that's what reminded me of Psycho. When I was in Florida, they had The House, or a remake of The House. Anyway, we're talking about phobias, where we're not really meant to be talking about phobias. We're talking about the fear of failure. Yeah. I do like a good scary movie. I don't think I must have seen The Wizard of Oz, but I don't remember. Which I know everyone probably has, so I probably have. I've gone to see like theatre kind of things of it when I was a kid. So, a quick tip, if you get like agitated by horror movies or thrillers or movies which heighten your fears, worries, doubts, and anxieties, but you want to be able to conquer that, my tip would be is to watch the movie every 5-10 minutes of the movie and then stop for a half hour, an hour to the next day. And what it does, it just gets you to the place and then you're able to drop out of it real quick. And then you watch it again and it kind of desensitizes you. So if you are wanting to watch movies because your partner does or your friends want you to go, a good way of being able to deal with them is to have small segments of time for your body to go, it's just a movie. So that means you're not fully engrossed in it. So that's a little tip for you. It's just how I work. I just eat once per day. Yes. I try eating in the morning and it slows me down. I don't work out as well. We'll add a little bit of that as well then. Okay, so we should probably get started on the episode 852, because I want to be because we usually chat for like 20-25 minutes at the moment for the last probably 3-4 months, and then like a bit of the pre-show, and then we do the content, which will go into the app, and then have a small, today anyway, a small post chat, depending on how much time we've got, if we want to chat. But I think it's going to be small. And also, if you are going to stay to the end, I'm trying that redirect again. So feel free to see if it works. So you might as well just do it. Okay. Let's get to it. 852. Let me just make sure it is 852. 852. 852. 852. 852. Ready, steady, let's go now. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and this is episode 852. Now, in today's session, we're talking about how we can overcome the fear of failing, the fear of not being able to achieve your goals, your dreams, your desires, because it's something that is one of the main fears that we go through in life. So we can have, for example, the fear of rejection, the fear of success, the fear of not being enough, the fear of not being of value, all of those things, and of course, the fear of failure. So it's a bit hard to break them all down in one episode, so I want to just kind of focus on this one today, which is overcoming the fear of failure. I want you to see this episode as getting you in the position to move on despite that so-called failure. And the reason why is if we are going to change, we must assume responsibility for where we are. Like, this is where we are. I fear failure. This is where I am. To get into that small level of acceptance that something needs to be done about it. Nothing to run from, nothing to hide from, nothing to repress. This is just where I am. I fear failure, and you might even fill in the blank here. I fear failure because fill in the blank. Because what people may think of me. Because it may hurt me. Because whatever it is, just have that in your mind about I fear failure because of this. Because as you start to recognize them, we can start to dive into them. We can start to see what we can do about it. Because we've had this belief system that we must fear failure. Where did that come from? Now, it's going to come from different places for different people, but maybe it's because we've had high expectations placed upon us through our family, through our childhood, through school, through society, through partners and relationships. Like, this fear of failure can come from many different ways, many different places. So I'm going to be afraid to fail because of these past situations. We've been hypnotized to think that is reality. But if you are going to change, you must assume responsibility and go, look, there's just what I'm going through right now. And then ultimately try to shine a light on the reality. The reality is there is no such thing as failure. That's my belief. There's no such thing as failure. Because the reframe to that is, if I always learn from that so-called failure, if I use it as feedback to adapt, to grow, to be different, to learn from it, that means it can only make me stronger. It can only make me get better and better and better. So in my mind, there is no such thing as failure when it comes to going for what we really want. Like if you really, really, really want it, if that's on your heart, that's in your future, that's in your path, that's in your purpose, that fear of failure, we need to reframe and change it into feedback. It's just saying, I haven't got the necessary skills right now, but once I learn from this, I can acquire those skills or get those learnings for the next time, and then just get better. That should be the reframe we should all have when it comes to failure. There's no such thing as failure. It is feedback. It is a signal. It's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to grow. And where I got that from was through doing what I do and doing what I teach, but also in things like sales. If you ever speak to a salesperson, the real good ones, they see that person who says no as an opportunity to move to the next one. That's just it. If they get to a certain place and they go, look, this person's not going to buy it, it's not a good fit for them, they're not ready, I'm going to move to the next one. And that's how they keep on getting better and better and better and better. If you think of like some successful sports like baseball, I don't watch baseball, seen it a couple of times live, but I think they're not very successful statistically wise. But if they got caught up in that failure, and I've worked with someone who does baseball about a year or two ago, and in their mind that can be their biggest issue, like because there is more failure, so-called failure, in hitting the ball or the home runs and things like that. It is just at the moment a necessity. It's just what it is. And then if I'm not an expert in it, so you may say I'm wrong if you are an expert, but I think genuinely that's the methodology behind it. But it's not like a very successful hit rate or percentage, but the ones you do hit and connect with are the ones you're looking for. So if you keep on learning and growing and recognize that, hey, look, there is going to be an essence where I'm not going to get this outcome. It's okay. What is the worst case scenario? And I was saying this on when we're doing our group coaching call within my program, the most of the time, the worst case scenario is never going to happen. Because the worst case scenario is you not being here. Like, that's the worst case, right? Not existing. So when you think about it, going for that job interview, going for that relationship, approaching that person to get a raise or to get a date, the worst case scenario is likely to not exist. Very likely. And especially if you go and be at peace with that, but it's okay. There's going to be times when I'm not going to so-called succeed. But really, you're succeeding if you're learning and growing. You're not failing, you're just learning and growing. So it takes time to build that into your neurology, but it's there. Like, think about it. The nature of you existing, you've had to be adaptable. The nature of the people before you, your bloodline, had to be adaptable to their environment. They succeeded just like you. You are here. There's been many times, for example, how many times would you say you've got a child, whether you got one or not, you can regress back in your mind if they were young things, or just imagine if you had a child. How many times would that child have to fall down before you go, you're done? Stop it. Don't even try anymore. Like, you're just not good at walking. You may as well just quit right now. How many times would the child have to get up and fall over before you would just tell that to a child? Now, I'm hoping you'd say, I would never say that, because that's what they do. They're going to get up and they're going to fall down. They're going to get up and fall down until they actually get it into the neurology. We don't tell them to just quit it. It's innate within us to keep on doing that, to get better, watching and modeling. You see, you're even here right now. Whether you get the answer you're looking for or not, you are here because you want to learn. You want to learn about life. You want to learn about yourself. You want to learn about your past, learn about your future. You want to learn how to overcome the fear of failure. But there's been many things in your life which you just kept on going. Now, maybe, like I said, it's because some aspects of our childhood or significant emotional events. But there are times in your life where you have kept on going nevertheless. So that just means one step forward each time, even if you fall back a little bit, even if you fall over. One step always going forward, one extra step from, or two extra steps from going backwards, all of those things means you will gain momentum. You will keep growing. You will keep on learning. Now, the other interesting thing about it is this. The more you do, the more you'll start to get evidence that you're making progress. The more you're at peace, there's going to be times when people will say no, and it's okay. You'll start to find more evidence in your confidence that you're having. You're going to start to build that up. But like all things, you need a foundation. If you're going to build something big and strong, you want to be able to have that real foundation within you. And that foundation takes time. It takes a moment. It takes some space to just build up that momentum. But what happens if you were to have like a snowball going down the mountain? What happens? In the beginning, it's kind of slow. It's kind of small. But the more momentum it picks up, the bigger it gets and the more faster it gets. It's building up this traction and this movement and this energy that it becomes powerful. That is what's going to happen for you. When you become at peace that there's worst case is probably not going to happen. When you recognize that actually the worst case, or the thing which can happen, which is most likely to happen, is not much of a thing anyway. You see, a lot of the time we're always wondering about what people think of us. What if I look silly? What if this happens? Well, guess what? Most people are thinking the exact same thing about you. They're thinking, oh, I hope that person's not gonna judge me. That person's not gonna think I'm silly. It's just these reality filters, but we're so self-absorbed in our own, rightly so, because life is subjective, looking through your own senses. But in reality, it doesn't hold much substance. So each step forward, you're gonna start to gain that momentum. You're up that momentum and mountain. After a while, like for example, if you can imagine taking a rock or a boulder and pushing up the mountain, at first it's going to be hard. At times you're going to go backwards. But the more you go all the way up, it's going to start to level out. You're going to get to the peak. And then you're going to move that boulder down the other side and you're just going to let go and be free. So if we're taking in the idea that the fear of failure is usually focusing on the negative scenario, the things which could happen, might happen, probably won't happen, and they go wild in our mind. Your job, when you get that thought, is to start to change and switch your attention. It is not up to your unconscious mind to do this. It's been doing it this way for a long time if you have the fear of failure. So it's your job at a conscious level that every time you start to think on the negative consequence, it's your time to reflect on the opposite, to consider what good things can happen from this. You see, when you do that, you're thinking more about the importance, the why it's important, what it's going to get you, what it's going to give you. If you get that promotion, what's it going to give you? It's going to give you achievement. It's going to give you more money. What are you going to do with all those things? Probably keep growing, having more time for security, time with your family, going on vacations, investing. Like, it's gonna get you a lot. Same thing for a relationship. Usually we focus on the rejection of the person, but think about the excitement of what could happen if it is a good connection, even if you get some no's along the way. Think about what it's gonna get you, the intimacy, the excitement, the sharing, the exploring, the coming together financially abundantly. There's so many good things on the other side, but we tend to focus on the negative. So in times of fear of failure, wake up. Be conscious of this unconscious process. Allow the unconscious to be conscious, to then go, actually, it's my job as a conscious being to focus my attention on what I want. I've said this analogy many a times. Imagine if you're in a car, you're going onto a journey. Do you put in every destination you don't want to go to? Of course you don't. It'll take you forever. You'd have to go to all the destinations you didn't want to go to in order to get to where you want to be. Madness. You'd never put the location of all the places you didn't want to be in a satellite navigation system. What do? You put your attention on the location that you do want to go. You put in a postcode or the zip code or the address and all those types of things. Well, it's the same thing with the mind. You are almost, with the fear of failure, programming your mind through this past programming, of course, to go to all the destinations you don't want to go to in the hope to finally get to where you want to go. It's never going to work just like the satellite navigation. You're not going to have all the thoughts of all the destinations, of all the actions, all the reactions, all the failures, so-called failures, to be able to get to where you want to be. So it's now time to put your attention on what you want. Forget about the how in the beginning. Focus on what you want, what it's going to give you. Decide, declare that you're ready for this, even in the so-called failure. Decide, I want this so much that what it's going to make me feel when I get there, what it's actually going to give me emotionally, psychologically, physically, even into the external possessions or money or helping and contributing to society. Make your why so big, make your reasons so big that it just overloads. It saturates any reason to not go for what you want. That to me is assuming a level of responsibility. And this one is a little bit of a jab at the unconscious mind here, is that if you're not committed to change, you're committed to stay the same. And the reason why I say it's a little jab, because it's a bit of a wake-up call, because we're like, oh my goodness, if I'm not committed to change and do the work, I'm sending a signal to my unconscious mind that it's okay where I am, to keep on playing out the same old stories about the fear of failure, the same old ideas that poor me, there's a reason why I am like I am. And I'm not saying that to be mean to you. I really hope you get that. In fact, if I was to be really mean, I'd be telling you to keep on living that way, because it's not serving you. Serving you is bringing you to hopefully the truth and better you, and deciding to not be committed is technically deciding to stay the same. We're not doing anything. So assume that responsibility to put your attention on what you want and start to take some action on it. I don't care if you use something within my app. I don't care if you work with me personally. I don't care if you work with other people. But I'm not going to serve you by just saying everything's going to be okay if you do nothing. Because there's a part of you on the inside which wants something. And if you want something, you've got to do something. It's not just going to fall on your lap. In a rarity anyway. You've got to have those positive thoughts, but those positive actions to back it up. But one of the issues which does get in the way, and more than ever, I would say, is people's opinions of going for what we want. Because that fear of failure could have come from that judgment or what people are expected of you. Have you ever had that thought? When you think about it, I don't want people to think of me in a certain way. If I decide I want to go and start up that new business, in my mind I might be having conversations of what my parents will feel, or what my friends will be thinking, or what my brothers or sisters would tell me, or what my children would say, my partner would say, what society would say, what does social media say. There are so many opinions of what people think we should be doing. Sometimes we have far more opinions of what other people should be doing when they should be really putting their own attention on their own opinion of where they're heading. They get so tired and stuck to their own opinion that they try to enforce it upon other people, and it doesn't work that way. You don't force people into things. It's about getting them to come to their own conclusion. And that's what I try to do on every one of these episodes. I'm not going to tell you that this is the only way. I'm going to say this is how I see it. And there are other ways of doing it, of course. I like to think my way is a quick way because that's what worked for me and that's what works for my people who I work with. But if there's other ways, go out and explore, but don't take my opinion as truth. Don't take society's opinion as a truth, and absolutely do not let those past people in your life, who may not even be in your life, still echo on in the mind of an opinion of where and who you should be and what you should be doing. I always say other people's opinions are not your business, and that does push up against some people too. But I'm at peace with that. I don't mind that. Like, if that pushes up against you, disagree, that's fine. But what I do know is if I buy into other people's belief systems which aren't resonant with what I really want in our life, I'm not going to serve them, and I'm not going to serve others. I'm not going to serve myself. Why? Because I'm going to be unhappy doing that. By living in the mindset of what other people want for me, I will never ever be happy. I will never ever get to the end of my life and go, well, that was a great life. I lived it in through the eyes of my mother or father or society, whatever it is, right? You're not going to feel very good about it. In fact, you're probably going to have a level of regret that you wish you did something different. I mean, how many regrets do we have now? Whatever age we are at, how many regrets do we have? And not necessarily big bad regrets, but I just mean like hindsight. Like, there are many things I look back and think, I wish I did that differently, because it would have meant X, Y, Z. I would have helped more people, I would have made more money, or I'd be able to give more, or I'd be able to have better relationships. Like, we all have hindsight, but I don't want that hindsight to be the last one that you have when we get to the end of our life. When you go, I lived my life for other people, and it made me unhappy. That does not serve you. Doesn't even serve them, ultimately. I would prefer you to live your own life and then show them what could be done. Because not only are you showing up with happiness and passion and purpose, maybe you'll liberate them. Maybe they were just doing what they were told. Sometime along the line, the cycle's got to break. Because think about this as well. I don't have children, but if I were to have children and I feared failure, I would be so fearful of not wanting to pass that down to them and echoing that to maybe their children and their children and their children. How many of these stories and opinions of what we should do when it comes to, which creates all this fear of failure that we could be carrying out, which could be generations old. Maybe generations ago it was important to have that fear of failure because it may have been a life or death situation, like the fear of failure of not being able to get food to supply your family. But we don't live in that time anymore. Not many of us anyway. Some people will do, but that's survival. But not many people, when we talk about the fear of failure, is about survival. It's about getting that job, getting that partner, starting that business, when we feel like an imposter, when we feel like I'm gonna mess up, I will have that fear of rejection, the fear of success, all of those things. So we've got to do the deep work. We've got to realize that these challenges that we go through will not make us stronger. You're like, what would you mean it won't make me stronger? You're meant to be doing the development stuff here. What I mean by that, they won't make you stronger. They will reveal your strength. They will reveal what was already there within you. Because when you get those learnings from those so-called failures, which is really feedback, you are growing, learning and adapting and unleashing something that was already there. Why? Because it's on your heart. You wouldn't be wanting these things if you didn't really feel like it. You wouldn't be going for that job or that partner if you didn't really feel like it was going to get you something. So sometimes, as we go through these events, recognize it doesn't add always to you, but it will reveal to you something that was always there. The strength, the resiliency, the adaptability, the positivity, all of those things. Because that fear of failure has a conditioning that defines if it's possible. Is it realistic? Is it realistic me to make $10,000 a month, $50,000 a month? Is it realistic for me to have a loving relationship who lifts me up as much as I lift them, because I've had all these past people telling me that's not true? Is it realistic to go for my dreams because my mother and father said, look, you gotta do X, Y, Z? Is it realistic to be a business owner? Well, think about what realistic is. Is it realistic defined by those people? Is it defined by society? I would say no. They can have their own definitions because it's all subjective. But we are the ones who define what is realistic. You get to decide that. You get to decide what is important to you. You get to learn and fail forward. You get to suck less at something. Because usually you think we've got to be perfect. Well, just suck less at doing that thing. It takes a ton of pressure off. You're like, it's okay. I'm going to be pretty bad in the beginning. I'm going to be like that child learning to walk. It's not going to work out straight away. But you know what? If I just keep on sucking less at it, getting a little bit better, gaining that momentum, I'm going to get to where I want to be. I'm going to do all the things I want to achieve. So try to apply those principles, even if they're just reframes of how you see fear of failure, because it will cause you to change, but you have to wake up to it. Like I said, you've got to take action on this. You got to decide to do rather than decide to stay the same. That's just my opinion. And it's an opinion that I have about myself as well, but I'm not just saying this because it doesn't always feel good when I say that, or as in, it makes me feel good because I believe it's true and I believe it's trying to help, but I know it doesn't. When I say those things, some people might go, oh, that does hit something within me. But I have that same mentality myself. If I'm not dedicated to do this work, then I'm dedicated to stay the same where I am. It should be a wake-up call. It should be, oh my goodness, I've got to start doing something because I have a level of control. I don't have the control over my fear of failure yet. I don't have control over my finances yet. I don't have control of not having a relationship right now because that's reality. Maybe having debt is reality. Maybe not having a job is reality right now. But the truth is, when we decide to do and we dedicate our life to do the work, we're no longer deciding to stay the same consciously. We're no longer giving our unconscious mind permission to stay the same. Think about that. We're telling our unconscious mind, hey, it's okay to stay here. And that's not right to me. I believe, honestly, you were born more than that. Somewhere along the line, things happened, but I think within you, we were all whole. We were all content. We were all love, in my opinion. So we just got to get back to that by undoing those belief systems. Now, of course, if you, for example, it's not for everyone because you've got to be invested. You've got to be dedicated to be able to match my dedication to get you to where you want to be. You can choose to apply to work with me, where within my program, we get to work with you. And I say we because as a team, we get to work with you to make the transformation that you want. To let go of the imposter syndrome, to be able to get the business or the career, the relationship. But you've got to be invested in time and in money because this is going to be life-changing. So you fill out an application and we get clear when you arrive to that one-to-one call on where you are, where you want to be, what's getting in the way. And if we can make it a reality, we'll go, yep, we can do that. We'll work with you. Then you can go to josephclough.info/talk to be able to do just that. So I hope you got value from this episode either way, because like I said, that's very specific. You've got to be really dedicated to change. You got to, even if you don't know how, even if you're like, oh, I have all this fear because that's part of the issue. But in your heart, you got to go, I'm all in on me. For once in my life, even I don't know how it's going to, I don't know how Joseph's going to do it. I don't know how we're going to work together. But for once in my life, I'm going to do this for me. Because all my life, I've never felt worthy. All my life, I was told I should have these fears, worries, and doubts. All my life, I've been saying this narrative, what people have told me. But not today. I'm gonna go all in for me for once. Because when I go all in for me, other people will benefit. Other people will get more of me. I'll get more people, I'll get more abundance, I'll get more career, all those things, of course. But when you shine your light knowing you are worthy and enough and all those things, people will change in every single way. So once again, that is Joseph Clough, www.josephclough.info/talk. josephclough.info/talk. But as I said, go ahead and do what has to be done. I'm rooting for you even from a distance. I do really want you to change, transform with me or without me, with other people, whatever it is for you. I know it's possible. If I can do it, you can do it. And I look forward to speaking to you on a future episode. Many thanks and goodbye. And welcome back. Okay. So, thank you, Med, for... I was trying to come up with as many analogies in one go there, so I don't know which one I was, but I tried to throw in about 4 or 5. I think. He's superstar. Lois says, so you're saying failures may be the same as regrets and self-blame or unintentional mistakes. So you're saying failures may be the same as regrets. Well, if we fail, so-called fail, and we just stop, it could turn into a regret, right? Because we didn't follow through on what we really wanted to. And that can cause us to have self-blame. I wish I did that. You said about unintentional mistakes. Yeah, I mean, we can always realize there's always positive intentions, but I think when we just learn and grow from them, we only get better because of them. So hopefully does that answer your question? But mistakes will, if stopped, or stopping us do things, could turn into a regret, which will then self-blame. I love it. There we go. We're all in sync. Or, us 3 are in sync. Holographic universe, as I said. Maybe we're in a simulation. You're most welcome, Michelle. Great to have you here. Thank you, Cheryl even. Thank you, so kind. Hey, my friend, all the way in Australia as well. Yes, I don't know how, you know how our conversations just spiral. Somehow we got into the topics. Oh, it's because my brother went to South Africa. Anyway, I'm not going to overcome that because you skipped that for a reason. That was synchronicity right there. But we're doing our top 3 movies which defined the biggest amount of things. Oh dear. Met over there. Met over there. But thank you all for being here. We streamed for another hour. Yes. Yes, we did. We did it. There we go. That's a great learning. It just doesn't feel congruent. And Eric, I don't know if you know, if you heard me say this before about just decisions. Like, I like to think of the thing that I'm going for, regardless of external influence and all those kind of things. I kind of put my hand on my heart and I just think about it, and I see if there's like, if I go forward or go back. It's like tapping into your neurology and your physiology. That's how I can sometimes make decisions, like tapping in a little bit. But yeah, like, there's a level of incongruency. Sometimes there can be resistance. There can be, what's the other word I was looking for? Resentment. Could be lots of things like that. Then they're no longer mistakes if you learn. Just feedback. Just feedback. So, what we'll do, unless anyone else has any other questions, but I've actually got to go pretty soon anyway. But I said, when I close down the stream, it's going to hopefully redirect you to the 24-hour stream. Now, even if you don't stay, I'd like us just to test. I want to see if we all get pushed over into the new stream, because it could be something we could do in the future. We could do like multiple subjects back to back and go from this stream to that stream to that stream. Who knows? But if you're going to stay, let me know in the chat on YouTube, that is, by the way. You got to be on YouTube to do this. youtube.com/JosephClough/live. I think it will get you to this live video. No, I don't think that will be the case. Just go to youtube.com/JosephClough and click on this live stream. Never be afraid to fail. There's like a 30-second delay, so I'll wait 30 seconds. But in the chat, just let me know if you'll just stay for a moment and we'll test. You ready to test? We got Med being the guinea pig. Jen will stay. So we got 2. I hope to see you all over there. Anyone else? You're most welcome, my friend. Great to have you here. Okay, we got some testers. Okay, so I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna see if it moves me over there as well. So we'll just see. So I'm gonna do a quick end screen, and we will see what happens. So quick end screen for like 30 seconds. Awesome. Ready, steady, let's go.